want to talk about suspension of disbelief. When the Enterprise is a garbage chute.
Star Trek Into Darkness, by the way.
For some reason, the Enterprise is a garbage chute, which is big enough for 2 people to hang out in. They go blasting between spaceships, which is just to get another scene from the first movie.
I thought they were in a torpedo tube.
No, it was a garbage chute. They specifically... It's the waste refuge canal or some bullshit.
Okay.
So, they go rocketing out. They open the bay doors and get rocketed out at, like, Mach 10. Now, they kept going so goddamn fast. There's no really need for them to go that fast. And they didn't have to hit the port going that fast.
How do you know they didn't have to go that fast? Why couldn't
they could have gone that fast to get close enough to the ship, then use their thrusters on their uniforms to not go barreling into it that fast.
Did they have thrusters to slow down, though?
They had thrusters to go quicker and left and right.
Yeah.
So clearly they had thrusters to slow them down.
I don't know that.
You don't know that, though.
Yeah, because they were on their hands and all the rest of their uniforms. They were like using them to do course corrections. So they didn't have to go 1,000,000 miles an hour into a porthole the size of like a bagel. They could have like taken their time. They could have gone a little slower. I know it was a time-sensitive issue, but 3/4 of the way there, let's slow down a little.
No, but they needed the momentum. They had to get there.
Okay. When they open the port, clearly the USS Vengeance has a 1.0 Earth gravity, right?
Sure.
The second they hit that gravity field, their trajectory is going to start diminishing. They're going to go like a bullet. They didn't. They kept going straight until they closed the door. The second they hit that gravity, their trajectory is going to start arcing them towards the ground, and then they hit the ground going as fast as they were.
But Kirk's suit was all damaged. Was it Kirk? No.
Yeah.
Yes, Kirk's suit was all damaged up.
Doesn't change gravity.
Khan's was not. So Khan had the extra weight to carry. Therefore, it could not slow down.
They weren't carrying each other.
I thought he was.
No, he was using Khan to, like, find out where to go. And they had their battle at the moon, and then all of a sudden they're in Earth's orbit. Like, they were in Earth's gravity field that far away.
It's pretty close to Earth.
They weren't moving that fast. They were stationary. And then all of a sudden they're falling down to the Earth.
It's lens flares, Gary.
Why were they not using Khan? Why were they not using the other people, the other 72 corpses, like bodies they had to heal people?
So instead of enjoying the movie, you stopped to analyze that one scene.
And that's what happened.
It looked fine. It was a dumb action sci-fi movie.
I think you went into the movie knowing you weren't gonna like it, so you found something you didn't like. And it's the same thing with Hunger Games too. I
didn't go into that movie not knowing anything about it, so you can't say that.
No. I'm not saying I didn't say you went into it knowing a ton of stuff. I'm saying I think you went into it not thinking you weren't gonna like it, and so you find stuff that you're not gonna like.
I found stuff I enjoyed. Bones was fantastic. Thankfully, Simon Pegg got some more screen time with Scotty, and he was really great. The whole subplot at the beginning about busing him back down to commander, only to have him become captain 10 minutes later, useless.
Not useless.
It was useless.
And it was 10 minutes of film time, not 10 minutes of real time.
No, it was pretty much like a day or so. I liked like the Daystrom Institute was a cool little shout out.
Yeah.
That's how they do shout outs, not having him having a tribble for some reason.
Tribbles were awesome.
I thought it was cool.
But specifically, they do things that just, we have to put this in because we have to have this reference or this shout out. We have to have this.
I didn't think it was too over the top or anything.
But why they had 72 other, and that was a dead giveaway that it was Khan.
Yeah, I know. It was.
As soon as they said how many torpedo tubes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Khan.
You know, automatically.
Yeah. So the whole built-up suspension. If he hadn't have been Khan, it would have been a better movie. If they had just kept him as being a rogue Section 31 agent.
It's funny how everyone thought he was Gary 7 for a while there.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
And John Harrison is actually a character in Star Trek lore, apparently. If they had kept him just a rogue Section 31 agent. And the Botany Bay, which they don't actually mention but reference, should have still been in deep space. Because two years into Star Trek, I think Space Seed Season 2, if I'm not right, whatever. But they're on their 5-year mission, so they're a pretty ways away from Earth. How did Marcus find the Botany Bay?
But the thing is, this is not classic Trek or even that timeline anymore.
But they're acknowledging
they're not on a 5-year mission, so they haven't even Like, they barely thought of the 5-year
mission. No, I'm not
mission.
saying they're on the 5-year mission.
The Botany Bay would have been a lot closer.
No, it wouldn't have, because up until Nero comes through the wormhole there in the first one, time progresses as normal. So they still had the eugenics wars, which for some reason nobody knew about on the Enterprise. As soon as the guy said Khan, 300 years ago, frozen dudes, wait a minute, there was a massive war on Earth 300 years ago, and we imprisoned people. Maybe these aren't good guys. The Botany Bay was still shot off into space, far enough out that it took the Enterprise 2 years to find it. How did Marcus, who is based on Earth, find the Botany Bay if the Enterprise is the first deep space mission they're sending out? How did he stumble across the Botany Bay?
Transwarp.
They stole Scotty's equation. You can't steal an equation. He still fucking knows it.
I know, exactly.
How do you lock down an equation?
For what was that? Clear aluminum? Plastic aluminum?
Transparent aluminum.
Transparent aluminum.
Yeah. Scotty invented a shit ton of stuff when you really stop to think about it.
Yes, he did.
The inside of the Enterprise core has handrails around it just to allow someone to, like...
I told you about that already.
The engineer designed it like that.
Exactly.
That looked like the inside of the Death Star.
So if you ever gotta climb on in there, might as well have some handholds.
The whole flipping around of the Wrath of Khan scene, didn't need that to be, didn't like it.
That was awesome. I liked it. I thought it was a cool
Spock yelling
homage to that.
That was cool.
Spock yelling Khan was garbage.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And every scene that Cumberbatch is in, he's out-acting everybody. Nobody in that movie is even close to Cumberbatch.
He's an amazing actor.
It's ridiculous. Chris Pine, you put Chris Pine next to Cumberbatch, like, why am I here?
The only thing I objected to in the whole movie was the same thing I objected to in the first movie was Spock and Uhura dating.
Yeah.
I've been told from a hardcore Star Trek fan that knows a lot more than I do that there is groundwork for that in the original series.
I don't think so. I watched that in the
and
original series
it's
a million
subtle
times.
in the first one. It is blatantly obvious in the second. It's thrown subtlety out the window at that point. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she's so stupid that she's mad at him for acting like a Vulcan.
Yeah.
Like, what do you... Come on!
He's half human. Hello.
Yeah, but he's obviously chosen to be more Vulcan. But parts I enjoyed. I still like the design of the ship. The Enterprise still looks... The inside is garbage.
What are you talking about? I like the inside.
Stupid. I hate the giant reactor cores and everything that make no sense. Cooling towers, pipes, and there's a bit of dialogue here that just they don't understand how things work. The whole point it's based in a pseudo reality science space, right? People understand that this isn't Star Wars. We're not focusing on the science part of Star Wars. Star Trek has always had more science in it. There's a line that Cumberbatch says when he's going on about how he's going to cripple the Enterprise, blah, blah, blah. He's going to target their life support system, which is located behind their aft nacelle.
Yeah.
Aft is the back of the ship. It's behind the back of the ship.
Yes.
Their life support system is a trailer they're carrying around space.
Who knows?
The life support system is literally the most important thing you have on a spaceship. It should be located in the middle of the goddamn ship, highly protected. Behind the aft nacelle makes no sense.
I'll give you that one.
That is a ridiculous piece of dialogue that shows that the writers of that don't A, give a fuck, or B, know what they're doing enough to give a fuck.
Okay. But I still say, overall,
it was a dumb sci-fi action movie.
To just enjoy myself. I don't go to analyze the mistakes or whatever, or anything like that.
I'm not saying I utterly hated the movie. I possibly see it too much as a Star Trek fan, and these movies aren't made for Star Trek fans.
Yeah, see,
I'm a Star Trek fan, and I enjoyed it. I loved... Okay.
There were things about it I did like. In Marcus's office there, they had, like, the little tiny model ship.
Yeah, those were
That is how you do callbacks and shout-outs and homages right. Subtly, not overt to the plot. They had the little ships. There was the Phoenix. There was the NX-01, which I really liked. I didn't like how he had a scale model of the Vengeance. He's building a secret Black Ops ship on the other side of Jupiter, and he puts a scale model of it on his desk.
Well,
how does he explain that?
Sometimes you just have to visualize things.
I don't like where the nacelle is. Can we move it a little bit off? Come on. I did like the Vengeance design. I thought it was kind of cool. It kind of reminded me of the Excelsior, which is nice. And I loved the sliding bay door that covered up the deflector dish. I thought that was a brilliant thing they did. Like, from a design, I don't know where that came from in the writers, the design concept, whatever. But the fact that they finally there's a starship out there that has protection for its deflector dish. Without the deflector dish, the ship blows up the second it moves.
So you didn't much care for it. Found a lot of negatives. A couple good things.
Yes. Yeah. Again, the casting.
But
the guy that plays Chekhov is not a goddamn engineer. The way of getting Scotty off the ship is dumb as fuck. Again, a call out to when Scotty disabled the Excelsior.
Yeah.
They had to get Spock off the ship somehow. So screw it. We'll have Chekhov. You shadowed him.
Exactly.
What? You're gonna let some guy who shadowed Scotty run the engineering section? Yeah, good call.
Why not? Why not?
Because he's not.
Could have been that little alien guy.
He's not an engineer.
He could be in this timeline.
Yeah. Clearly he's not, because he has a command shirt on.
So what?
No.
Spock could have taken medicine, but
he's science. That's why his badge is different.
I know.
Little...
Griff, your thoughts?
I thought it was a good movie. Like, I'm not going into it as a hardcore Trek fan.
Again,
really
the movies aren't made for Star Trek fans. Part of my problem is, yes, I have a hard time.
It is for the layman.
Yeah, it's for someone that wants a big, loud sci-fi action movie.
Yeah. I think they wanted to be able to make a movie that you didn't have to be a hardcore Trek fan in order to enjoy it, but that's why they could put in the shout-out so that...
And they're so blatantly hit you over the face with it, it just gets stupid. Oh, and I am sick and tired of J.J. Abrams having contempt for his audience. And he goes to show that he thinks people are stupid. Oh, we have to go to Kronos. 2 minutes later, Kronos comes up on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're going to Kronos. I know what Jupiter looks like. You don't have to tell me we're at Jupiter. I know we're in London.
Minor.
That's very minor. And I don't think
it's talking down to your audience.
I don't think so. I don't think that's true at all.
He loves his subtitles, which I'm fine. He used them all through Fringe, which is fine.
Love Fringe.
I like Fringe, so I don't hate J.J. Abrams. Later seasons got a little iffy, but when they say, okay, we have to go to Kronos, and like a minute and a half later, they arrive at Kronos, and then it tells you we're at Kronos. Yeah, okay, I'm not...
It's because the people driving the ship gotta know where they're going. Hello?
You know they weren't actually real. Those weren't giant letters floating around space.
I don't think that's... A big deal, or B, I don't think it's him talking down to people. I don't know.
I don't think so. They think whoever made the decision to put the titles there thought the audience couldn't pay attention long enough.
I don't think so.
To understand.
I don't think so. That's assuming a lot. That's a big
Why
assumption.
else would they do it?
To show they're at Kronos.
Yeah,
we're told we're going.
Could have been like random asteroid. Who knows? Could have been anything.
And Jupiter. People, you show someone a picture. Like, where are we? Is this Jupiter? Oh, I better tell you. Better tell you where we are.
That's right. Could be Saturn.
I don't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, you're making mountains out of molehills.
I think you are too.
But if those little tiny molehills add up.
Only if you're adding them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, they're not for me.
You have some valid points, I agree. But...
Script problems, dialogue issues, continuity problems.
Yeah.
And Kirk, he doesn't strike me as being Kirk. Boiled the character down to his
I think he was more
concepts.
Kirk than the first one, actually.
He got the chance to do more Kirkish things.
Yeah.
But he doesn't strike me as being the smartest guy in the world. If you
want to see a movie free of all of that... FF6. Fast and Furious. There's so many F's in FF6, I just can't get them all out. FF7, FF5, FF4. Oh, and number 4 was Fast and Furious.
Yeah, we looked ahead on the...
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I had the posters. I showed the posters through all the...
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
What happens when they reboot them? How mad are you going to be?
They're not
throwing out a decade of continuity.
No!
And then it'll be so goddamn stupid. You'll be saying the same things about the new Fast and Furious.
I doubt it.
One thing I will say about Star Trek, I was glad to see Mickey Smith again.
Who's that?
And then he blew himself up.
Yeah.
Mickey the Idiot?
From Doctor Who. The guy who blew up the building at the beginning.
Not ringing any bells.
Okay.
In Star Trek?
Yes.
He was probably one of the first characters you saw.
Really?
The hover car.
He was one who had the daughter who was sick, and Khan talked to him, and then
I can heal her.
Yeah, and then he blew up the. Oh my God! What movie were you watching? Jesus Christ! It was a big point. He blew up the. He blew up the top of the city.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yes. I was like, oh, it's.
But you're talking about Doctor Who, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Mickey the Idiot.